Prepare to get petrol, because it's time for the Week in Gear London edition. So naturally this week's going to be a little bit different because I'm in the hustle and bustle of the big old smoke. Is that what they call it? Anyway, I've still got some great gear to bring to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what London locations I can bring you as well. Don't expect too much, but expect to be, Londonized a bit. Behind me is Buckingham Palace, and this show is sponsored by guitar auctions at Gardner Holgate. More about them in a little bit. Now let's kick off this week's most exciting new gear with something from Collision Devices. If you're into wearing anoraks and hanging around in lithium battery recycling factories with your friends, then boy do I have a pedal for you. Collision Devices have just released the Crush Turnal, which is a digital delay, reverb, sample reducer and clock sequencer. I don't really know what that is, but it makes wibbly wobbly bloopy bloopy noises. This pedal can make things sound a bit ambient, a bit crushy, and it seems kind of reductive to call it a pedal because it seems more at home sitting on something where you would be there twiddling the knobs. Now this apparently takes, oh that's John Mayer in the background, I'll probably get demonetized for this. Quick, talk over John Mayer. It apparently takes its inspiration from a glitch in the clock change on digital processors. And I don't know what that is either, but this is one of those pedals that definitely knows its audience in the sense that it's not cheap and it's not for the average rock and roll player, but it does make cool noises. I found some Marshall amps. Look, I feel at home. Oh. Actually, it's only 330 euros, and I say only because I thought it would be more expensive than that. But it's sort of low priced for one of those blippy bloopy effects pedals, if that makes sense. It's not a cheap overdrive, but it could have easily been 500. Still a lot of money though. Up next, Mooer have been making intelligent guitars for a while now, but they've done something very clever and taken the intelligent stuff out of the guitar and just brought us the guitar for a pretty decent price. The Mooer MSC10 Pro is a Strat style guitar which has got a humbucker at the bridge and 2 single coils. It's a poplar body with a roasted maple neck and a Tech ebony fretboard. And the interesting part is they are about 170 bucks, which puts them firmly in budget territory, but still expensive enough to give me confidence that it could be pretty good. I'm currently in the Old Park Lane Hard Rock Cafe, and there's a lot of Gibson headstocks just there. And the guy that works here assured me that they're not from actual guitars, they're plastic, and I had a little touch, and they do feel quite plasticky. It's quite hard to avoid an Epiphone joke there. Adding to the specs, it's got a modern C neck with 22 nickel frets, matching headstock. I think it's great for the price. That's the night bus behind me, by the way. I'm at Harry Potter Land, the Warner Brothers Studios. I guess the big question about these guitars is, do we really need another budget guitar? I'm going to try one, I hope, but I have high hopes. I've tried the intelligent ones and they're pretty darn good. So this is all that, just the bones. Right, almost time for number 2 on the list. But before we get to it, let's talk about this week's sponsor, Gardner Holgate. Let's go magically back to the studio. Hi, Andy. Don't skip this part because guitarauctions.co.uk have some very exciting gear coming up in their new listings, and it's great to have them back as a sponsor. There are 4 complete days of guitar auctions that you can bid on in person in Bath, UK, or online live, which is what I'll be doing. It starts on the 11th of June, which is the Artists Associated Guitars and Memorabilia Day, with artists such as Bernie Marsden. And on that day, you can bid on Bernie Marsden's modified Ibanez Destroyer. On the 12th of June, they have the main guitar auction. And on that day, there's this 1963 Fender Strat, which is listed to go for between £3,000 and £6,000. The 13th of June is when you'll find the amps, pedals, and other stuff, such as this 1978 Fender Bassman 50 head. And the 14th is where they auction the antique and classical guitars. You can register to bid by going to the website and clicking live bidding. And regardless of where in the world you live, Guitar Auctions at Gardner Holgate will assist you with shipping, and that works super smoothly. I know this because I've bid on guitars in the past and managed to tick some off my bucket list. And I will be bidding on some this time around, which I'm not going to share with you. But maybe you can take a guess and have a look yourself by checking out the catalogue, which is online at guitar-auctions.co.uk. On with the show! For this one, I'm at the Tower of London. The PRS SE Custom 24 Limited Edition is the affordable version of the Custom 24. When I say affordable, I mean it's still £800. And when I say limited edition, it's 300 only. And is limited to Europe. It's got a mahogany body with a maple top and a flame veneer. And what else? A thin and wide maple neck with a rosewood fretboard and those bird inlays so famous to PRS. Oh, and also there are 24 frets on this 25-inch scale neck. It's also got a PRS trem and two 8515S humbuckers. Now, I did mention this was a European market only model, but I've already seen some on US websites and on reverb.com, so if you really want one of these, then make sure you've got a European friend or an accommodating shop that's going to help you out. Now, this is the closest I've ever come to purchasing a PRS without doing heavy research and then not buying it. I think the PRS SE range is so much guitar for the money, and I genuinely nearly took out my credit card, but didn't, because there's something between me and buying this guitar, and I'm not sure what it is, but I do feel like I'm missing out, and I'm heading to a guitar shop now. I'm actually going towards Denmark Street in London, and if they have one, I'm going to try it out, but if they don't, then I'll just end up playing something else for quite a while, so I don't even know if I'm going to get this video finished. But I don't think I'm going to buy this PRS, but if you decide that you want it, I think you're going to get a lot of guitar and not that much money, really. It's still 800 bucks, 800 notes, 800 pounds, but it's ruby red. But for me, not this time PRS, maybe next time.
Andy's Pick of the Week.
My pick of the week this week, I've made it to Denmark Street, the Roland Mega Superstore, whatever it is they call it, but I've sat next to a bunch of katanas and boss pedals, and I've had a whale of a time. Thank you, Matt, if you're watching this, for being so accommodating and making me totally lose how much time I've actually been in here. But my pick of the week is the Fender Japan Cyclone reissue, because I was a teenager in the 90s and I always wanted a Cyclone back then, and now they've reissued them. Kind of difficult because they're Japan only, but as we know, that doesn't mean that they don't make their way out of Japan. But let me read you through some specs. First, it's available in 5 finishes. We've got 3-tone sunburst, Lake Placid Blue, which might be my favorite, Fiesta Red, and there with a rosewood fingerboard, and also white blonde or butterscotch blonde, and that's with a maple fingerboard. I'm gonna go over here with my mate Rabia. Hello, Bia. Oh, someone's jamming away. Yeah, it's an older body, it's a modern C, maple neck. The strangest spec, yeah, it's 24 3/4 length, a scale length, which is generally known as the Gibson scale length on a Fender. I think that's super cool. To complete the specs, we've got a Strat style tremolo and vintage tuners, and it's halfway between a Mustang and a Duo Sonic, and I dig it. And if you're into offsets, and especially offsets from Japan, this might be your favorite guitar of the year. In fact, I'm almost foaming at the mouth. Matt looked at me then, he put me off. There's Matt. I'm almost foaming at the mouth with this guitar because I've been looking for a Cyclone for so many years and I have to get it. But unfortunately, it's 140,809 notes. But luckily, those are Japanese yen notes, and in dollars and euros, it's about 900, which I think is acceptable. And that's my family telling me I need to go back to Covent Garden to meet them, so I'm going to speed this up. It is kind of frustrating that Fender Japan get all the cool, quirky stuff, because that is where my dream guitars, or general sort of my tastes lie. Quirky, Fender-ishy, Fender Japan. And it just might mean that I'm going to have to finally visit Fender Japan one day. So Fender Japan, if you're watching this, I'm ready for the invitation. This shop is closing, so I'm going to go and find another guitar shop, and I'll read you all the names from Patreon and YouTube. But before I do, thank you, Boss Roland, for letting me in your shop and filming. And I'm talking way too long about a synth guitar from Japan. So that didn't go exactly as planned, because I made it to several music shops, but every time I went in a shop, I met one of you. So if you're one of the people I met, hello, this is the video that I was trying to film when we met. So thank you to the people from Patreon who support this show. Their names are on screen now, set against some lovely B-roll that I shot around London. And also thanks to the people who support the show right here on YouTube. Their names are on screen now, set against some beautiful stuff from London, whatever Victor chose. And also a massive thanks to the top tier members whose names I shall read out not only in one breath, but also in a Jason Statham sort of London accent. Josh Tamberg, Sarang Narayan, Southern Panda 33, Andrew Morgan, Dustin Bonnet, Gary O'Neill, Doug Paget, Alinta Boston, Boom Shakalaka, Dirk. This prank is officially sponsored by Jason Welch, you muppet. Buzzle, Michael Lerner, Buddha Blue, Hugh G. Rection, Pop's Place, April Kurtz, Johnny McBadminton. Thank you, top tier members. You make my eels jellied. Alright, go and take a look at all the stuff on offer at Guitar Auctions. Links in the video descriptions. There's a subscribe button somewhere on screen, and I will see you in the next one. Bow! Bye-bye! I'm still here.